powerful things about your message was you actually said that there's been some research that shows when you fail, more synapses fire in your brain, and there was a message there of the process being more important than the result. Can you talk about that a little bit, and then maybe even apply it to a business context? What does that mean in terms of how you rethink a business objective?
Yeah, and this is, this comes out of this whole field of research. Carol Dweck at Stanford around growth mindset, Angela Duckworth at University of Pennsylvania around grit, and there's groups at UT doing this work on grit, perseverance, all this stuff. Yeah, it's this idea that when your brain is plastic, and it's not that your capability is fixed, that you either get how to use this or do this or you don't. And the way to recognize your potential is to always be willing to step out of your comfort zone, be willing to fail things, work on things that you don't understand. So I think in kind of a business context, every day we all encounter things that we find a little bit intimidating, we are a little afraid to engage in because of that. But the big takeaway is engage in them, don't be afraid of it.
So you're an entrepreneur too, you're building a company, it's 100 people now, you talked about, we know it at kCura too, you reach these scaling points and you think, oh my gosh, I need all this additional infrastructure, how am I going to scale the business? How do you think about that, the need to fail or the need to have a growth mindset, and apply it at Khan Academy?
Probably my primary job at Khan Academy is to make sure that Khan Academy doesn't, rest on its successes, doesn't become an organization that is, it's natural for human beings, if you've gotten A's all of your life, to not want to take the risk in a place where you might get a B. And it's natural as an organization, if you've had a lot of successes doing things a certain way, to not want to try that other thing where you might fail. But that's the surest way that eventually you will fail, that you will get disrupted and you will become irrelevant at some point.
From a business perspective, are we too concerned about results, and do we need to focus more on process? Do we need to focus more on just making sure we're doing the right things? How do we do that?
It's very easy to get caught up with the things that will drive these are important metrics, in the next year or the next 6 months, but you've got to always have this longer lens on. And it's kind of easier for us in that we're not for profit. When even our board, we're always talking in terms of how do we do this over a generation? How do we do this? Which isn't the language you hear a lot in kind of corporate environment. And it can't be all you talk about. You have to be relevant now, and you have to grow. And you have to. So it's an interesting balance. But I think sometimes the long term, the really long view, does get lost a little bit. But you see it, whether it's for profit or not for profit. The really great companies have a long view, and they care about building a culture and a process that's going to be around. Regardless of what happens to the founder, the CEO, or anything else, it just hopefully is an organization that continues to do great things.